Welcome back, everybody. So, I'm going to do something different for you. So, I'm going to go into some series reviews as well as doing movie reviews. I thought about myself, what else could I review apart from movies? And obviously, there's series, and there's loads and loads out there. There's loads that I've watched, and there's loads that I haven't watched. One of them being Game of Thrones. But today, I thought myself, I'm going to start with something which I absolutely love, or a series that I absolutely love. Two pieces. This is what a series that I grew up with and religiously watched this like over and over again. I got every single DVD, I got every single VHS video of every series, and this is how much I love it. And it is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, before this series even come out, I knew of Buffy because we had the 1992 film, who saw Chris Swanson as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes, it's not the best movie in the world, but I love it, and it's that simple. And then when I saw the trailer for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series to be shown here in the UK, I was a teenager and I saw Buffy or Sarah Michelle Gellar for the first time, and I instantly fell in love with this girl. It is a childhood crush of mine. Just imagine a young teenager, hormones running high. Yeah, it's a crush. So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1 Episode 1, named Welcome to the Hellmouth. So in this episode, not a huge amount happens in this episode. It's more of an introduction to the main characters in this series. So we have Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy. We have Alison Hannigan as Willow. We got Nicholas Brendan as Xander. We also got Anthony Head as Giles. We also get introduced to David Boreanaz as Angel, plus many others. Like I said, not a huge amount happens in this episode, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So, Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the series. Buffy basically moves from LA and comes to Sunnydale to basically escape the life that she had in LA, away from all the trouble, away from all the problems that she had. And in this episode, you do get a sense of how much she is struggling to adjust to this new way of life. She has to start a new school. You get that sense that she is properly not happy with what she's doing. Little does she know, the new school that she's starting is basically sat right on her hellmouth, and it isn't long before the weird, strange kind of deaths start to happen in her high school, which is the result of vampires. The one thing she tried to escape. Sarah Michelle's character in this, I think, is actually brilliant. Like I said, it's a love interest for me. I'm not going to talk too much about her because she's just the Slayer. And if you haven't watched the series, I guarantee, just go off and watch it. I absolutely love this series. I know there's many people that love this series as well. So moving on to Alison Hannigan as Willow. So Willow is more of this kind of nerdy, kind of very brainy person who's not hugely popular in the school. A lot of people come to her for help to do their homework, namely Xander, and she's this kind of very sheepish, shy kind of person. But it isn't long before Buffy basically friends her and asks her for help, and it's basically a start of a bond between those two. It's really good because Buffy, yes, she's not hugely popular in the school as she is a new girl, but you can see that bond and friendship develop pretty much straight away. Then moving on to Xander in this. So he is, again, like this nerdy kind of geeky person who has a crush for Cordelia. No, he doesn't have a crush for Cordelia in any way, shape, or form, but he has this crush. He sees Buffy for the first time, gets this crush on her, and he tries his luck and all that kind of stuff. He's again wants this one of these kind of nerdy, kind of geeky, kind of unpopular person in this school. Again, it isn't long before he becomes friends with Buffy. He's already friends with Willow anyway, and again, you get to see that trio bond, which you get in that first and possibly second series as well, with the introduction of probably Cordelia more in there as well. Then we go on to Giles. So Giles is basically Buffy's watcher. He is there. He was sent to Sunnydale High because he knew, or their council, I should say, knew that she was moving there, and he was sent there to basically start training her up again and to basically guide her and help her through everything that she's done because he knew that there were problems coming. Again, he is a very good actor anyway, and I really do love him in this episode, to be fair, in all of it. He's just, knowing that I'm British anyway, and having them there, they use like the kind of English British kind of to and fro back thing as like, like, you know what I'm trying to say. And it's just, he's just very, very good. He also delivers quite a big kind of comedic element in as well in this first episode to a certain point. And it's just really, really good because you get to see the four bond very, very quickly in this episode. Then moving on to David Boreanaz, and I am not jealous of this guy in any way, shape, or form for kissing Sarah Michelle Gellar, the bastard. But again, he is this dark, mysterious, brooding kind of vampire with a soul. And, again, you do get to see his backstory later on in the series, which I'll go on to when I get to that episode. And he is this kind of mysterious kind of person, like brooding, and you just look at him and go, I just want to eat you, kind of thing. Because he is a very, very good looking chap, I'm not going to lie. But when you bring all these kind of characters together, it did actually make for a very, very good introduction episode to this series. Like I said, not a huge amount happens. You get you get the strange deaths, and it's not until towards the end of the episode they actually start to investigate what is actually going on. Buffy is very protective. She's trying to keep her identity hidden. She's trying to keep that she is a Slayer hidden. And towards the end, it becomes a little bit kind of, she can't. There's a lot of eyes as Xander finds out and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really interesting. The better episode to review will probably be the next one because a lot more happens into it. But like I said, this is mainly an introduction episode. It's very, very good. I think this is one of my favourite series of all time. Honest to God, I'm not going to lie. If you haven't seen it, you must please watch it. And if you have seen it, I think you know exactly what I'm on about, especially if you're a fan. Like I said, not a huge amount happens in this. It's just introduction to it, but it's just really, really good in my eyes, this first episode. Performances in there are enjoyable. There are comedic moments in this first episode as well, which make it even better. There are even some moments in there where you start to feel just a little bit embarrassed. That mainly comes from Xander, but it's just enjoyable. So this is basically the first episode. Said I nearly forgot. You get the main villain in this is why you've got the Master, which then later on in this series you'll understand when I start reviewing that it's just how much I actually enjoy the Master in this as well. And just the fact that this first two episodes is mainly revolved around vampires. It's not until later on they start introducing other things. But if you have, like I said, if you haven't seen the series, please watch it. It's enjoyable. If you have seen the series, please, as normal, tell me what you think. It's a great first episode. It's a great introductory. I love it. It's gonna be a pleasure to review this because there are some absolutely fantastic episodes in this whole. I think it's 7 to 8 series. I think it might even be 9. I can't quite remember. I'm looking at it now and I can't count it in time. But it's going to be a pleasure. So on that note, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Whatever you're doing, please take care and goodbye.